Let's get it on.
All right, y'all. Georgia Tech's Keion White is somebody who I've had my eye on for a long time, boss. I believe him to be a tried and true future stud as a reduction prospect, meaning he should play no more than a 5 technique, oscillate between a 5 and a 3 technique, and that boy would be cold. He played edge, as you see right here. Check this out. My man chaining moves together. Look at that Undertaker, the man in his throat. In his throat. That's how we say it out here, baby. His throat. Check this out, right? You talk about chaining moves together, having a pass rush plan. My man coming out right there, right? Sell, no tell right there. Centers a man up, right? Takes it from a 2-to-1, right? A 2-to-1 reduction in hands, right? Almost like a 2-to-1 header for a car. And look at that. Undertaker, that man, all in his throat, stretched him out, right? Your man right there, he went from about 6'5" to about 6'9". He's done. Cooked right there. And then you see right here, when he let it go, it kind of grazed his chin. Yeah, he was asleep, right? He was nodding off, done. But check this out. Then he chained a spin move on it, gave that man nausea. He was cooked and done. Look at that. My man was so messed up right here. Almost cussed. He had to try to trip him, and it still didn't work. Keion White would be nasty, right? I look at him for teams who run a base 34 alignment, right? My Eagles, I want him in Philly, right? If we can't get Jalen Carter, I want him in Philly. The Seattle Seahawks, another team, I think he would go well. Just speaking about Seattle right here, if they also can't get Jalen Carter, right? Same needs for Seattle and Philly right there. A cat like this a little bit later. Maybe with that 20th pick, I don't know exactly where this cat might go, but you might, if he's there in the 20s, I think he'd be worth his weight in gold, especially if you consider maybe Seattle does go for the quarterback. I honestly could care less. If they go for the quarterback, they can still get a guy who I think could be impactful as an interior defensive lineman to pair with the many edge players they already have. This shit could make Seattle extremely cold. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have scheme diversity. Obviously, he could play in a 4-3 as a base edge. But at 6'5", 285 pounds, the further you play him away from the quarterback, the less explosive he looks to me, right? He kind of, just be honest with you, further away he looks a little bit more plodding. He looks like his initial first step, it just gets slower the way you move them. You move him further away from the quarterback. But with a reduction, he gets more and more explosive. And at 285 pounds with a 6'5" frame, a 5 technique in a 3-4, right? Outside the shoulder of the tackle or outside the shoulder of the guard, I think he does work, absolute work. 34-inch arms there. Don't think he did anything else. 30 reps in a bench press. I can dig that. I can dig that for sure right there. 6'5", 285, and was playing stand-up. Now watch him work this gap scheme right here, right? He's going to squeeze down, stays parallel to the line of scrimmage. You'll see them, of course, pulling the guard, pulling the H back, right? So you got counter OH there. And I love his ability to get involved in the run game, especially for the inside. Reduce down, and look at that stack. Look at that wall in discard. Well, see him right here. Right, he comes off. He's an unmarked card, so he's an unblocked defender. So his first instinct is to parallel the line of scrimmage. Right, you get a replace there from the second level player. Going to be replacing him here. He gets to reduce down there, so he's essentially working from the inside, like I would like to see him do. And then you see him take on the block there, stand his ground with the stand your ground law, peel off, get the stick, peel and stick. There you go, from a 5 technique, 3 technique, however you want to say that. Now in a 4-3 defense, it obviously maybe could work the 3 technique in that particular defense there, but it's a little bit different the way it's structured. He'd probably be more of a 6 technique, which would bring him a little further away from the ball, depending on the 4-3 scheme there. But if they were to play him kind of tighter to the tackle there, he could obviously work in a 4-3 on the edge as well. I absolutely love this play right here. He's going to be splitting the difference, right? Splitting the difference. getting to this A gap right here, right? Or a rearranged gap. So working from the inside again, and you could just see the wreckage and carnage by just him continuing to work. He's got a lot of blue collar to him. Look at this. Oh my God. Jesus. Oh. Then he splatter whack Drake May. But look at him right here, right? Inside move, obviously you get that slide protection from North Carolina, so the gaps are rearranged. So he technically is coming exactly right on the inside. It looked like where the A gap would be. But look at him take the guard right here, bench press him, discard him, tackle tries to help. Not going to happen, right? Takes him, he's just angry, right? That's just straight physical, pure wreckage and carnage. Gets him out the way. And then he's on Drake, man. Tried to block the shot, too. Shot block extraordinary and everything. Right on there. You can't tell me you don't want that type of skill set there in a potential interior defensive lineman who came from playing in the edge. Look at that. Oh, man. Just continuing to work. 6'5", that takes away a little bit of a throwing lane as well. Nasty. Back out at a 6 technique, working the edges. Not a cat that's going to be able to run the hula hoop that well. You can see right here, he gets ran up out, but that blue collar mentality right there. Gets himself a blue collar sack, and it's all good right there. So coming up out of that 3-point stance here, I love the rush plan, right? You can see him right here, looking like he's going to attack the hands at the very least. The offensive lineman hasn't even showed his hands there. Gets into his chest, and then tries to give him half a man for the old okey doke, right? Look, it looked like he was going to turn finesse into power, actually. If you see right here, he was going to get the extension going on him, but decided to kind of just run the loop there. The tackle Dustley does a good job right here of kind of running him off the mark, but continues to work and ends up getting himself a sack, a real dangerous one though, man. Thank God from a football standpoint that Uiagalelei wasn't hurt on this particular play, but it wouldn't have been his fault. So he was just running and kind of got pushed into it there. So good rep right there. Coming off the edge, but with power. Flat out bull rush right here. Walking that man. Walking the dog, right? Walking the dog like that yo-yo trick from back in the day. And then get into the quarterback here. But I love this right here. Once again, sell no tell. Look like it could be a hoop run. Immediately gets that extension. That's what being 6'5" will get you right there. And then look at him drive, just like the sled. Just like the sled right there. My man's unable to dock the boat right here, right? So his ship is sinking and flailing away. Sailing. He's selling like Christopher's dream out here. Then he gets discarded. And his discards are always nasty. It's very violent. My man tries to uphold him by his shirt lapel. He gets that off right there. Look at that. Almost separates that man from his ankle tendons and gets to his quarterback. Telling you, man, Keion White is one of these kind of physical marvel types. The more he's reduced to the inside. If you see here, he only had 7.5 sacks. He's pretty new to the position. He played it for one season at ODU, Old Dominion. And then he transferred to Georgia Tech, and he got hurt pretty much right away and didn't get really a chance to do anything that year. So this Georgia Tech right here is when he has a couple of years under his belt there playing on the defensive side of the ball. Your man was actually a tight end in 2018 when he first went to ODU. He had 11 receptions for 124 yards, so you can see the type of athlete that he is. And, man, he still has some growing to do. But I will say this, he's 24 years old right now. To me, it doesn't matter at all, right? That's just not the same deal on the inside as an edge rusher or even just on the defensive line, period. It's not one of those type of positions like a running back to where you're really on a limited time scope there. So he should be fine with that, but you guys got to let me know what you think about his skill set. Is he one of these guys who can still play in the edge like in a 3-4, you think? Or is he definitely one of those guys who would have to be reduced down in a 3-4? And, of course, we know in a 4-3 he would play as probably a base DE or maybe, depending on how they run their scheme, maybe he could slide into a 3 technique. So let me know what you think about that. All right, it's your boy, Mid-Atlantic Murph, doing the 1-2 thing. Make sure you tip your waiter because you know I'll be serving that hibachi. As always, big salute out there to all my top Billin villains. Strike the band.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.